How do you know if an injury is soft tissue or structurally related? I received an email from Tobias, and this was a really good question because when you're dealing with a soft tissue injury, you can immediately start addressing it with contrast therapy. You could apply that whole RICE acronym: rest, ice, compression, and elevation. The way that you want to decipher of whether or not it's a soft tissue injury or whether it's structural is when you lay down at night, does it throb? That would be your first question. Now, in this situation, it could still be muscular. We're trying to make sure that it's not structural, and you're able to differentiate that when you get up and you start moving around. If it's soft tissue related, the pain and the throbbing will start to subside. Now, again, there's no absolutes in this. This is just a general rule for you to help have a guideline. But when you get moving around, the muscles, as they move, create friction. That friction creates heat, and that heat creates vasodilation. The blood flow opens up. So when you get moving around, if you have something that's tight or achy, and you add some low intensity exercise, preferably sport specific, what you're able to do is ascertain, did the pain go away? Did the throbbing go away? If it did through activity, then you know it's soft tissue. If it's still bugging you, there's still that throbbing pain, you definitely need to go see a specialist as soon as possible. Remember, when we're injured, especially if it's an impact type of an injury, you're always in a race against space and time. So I don't want you to waste any time, because obviously if you're watching this video, you want to be in it. You're very physically active. High-end performance may be a priority of yours. Every day that you try to squeeze another workout in, even though it hurts, you're delaying the amount of time that we can allocate to shortening the life of that injury and getting you back into your normal training schedule and racing schedule, if applicable. So Tobias, great question. I want to thank all of you guys. We're getting a tremendous amount of emails coming in. We love answering your frustrations, creating some clarification on things that may be confusing out there on the World Wide Web. If you happen to have a question, please feel free to reach out to me and my team. contact@coachrobb.com, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I would encourage you to do so. So that way, as we put these out, our goal is to do so once a day. We want to make sure that we're answering your questions. Feel free to engage with us in comments here, and we'll do our level best to get back to you. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see you again soon.